Hey everyone, welcome back. This is session 4. I am the host, the Dungeon Master, and the player, and I am playing Dungeons & Dragons solo mode, so just me. And last episode, we killed some goblins, and we ended up finding the kobold prisoners. So we found 3 kobold prisoners. In addition to that, there was a gnome. There was a little gnome locked in a cage, and the last thing that gnome said before the session ended was, "Dempsey, is that you?" So it sounds like the gnome is familiar with the halfling ranger. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. See you there. The prison door swings open. Inside the door stands the halfling ranger, his dog, and his newfound friend, a kobold. Inside the prison, no light penetrates this place of cold gray stone and hard iron. No music lifts the spirit, nor laughter. Only the clanking of manacles and mutterings of the imprisoned. The 3 prisoner kobolds are tethered with rope to the spike that is driven into the center of the room. Meepo runs over there quickly, pulls out his dagger, and begins releasing each of the kobolds.
Here, Kaka, Adobe. I have free you. I got my dagger here. You too, Meek. Here, let me help you.
He cuts the bindings on each of the kobolds.
Here, now you help us. You help us get Kelcrix.
No, Meepo.
No, we don't. They're coming back for us. The goblins. Oh, no. We have to get Kelcrix. Don't leave us. I brought help. Look, see?
No, we must return to Tustrail.
No, we...
And they're gone. The 3 kobolds scurry past you, out the door, and scatter back home. Though that was a rather large blow to your overall plan of capturing Kelcrix, the dragon. You were thinking you could use the 2 other guard members that you would free here and they would help you. But it looks like that is not the case. They are going to be of no help to you. But you are distracted, for you are staring at the gnome inside the cage that just a moment ago said your name. Hey, squint your eyes. Urky? What the hell are you doing in here? You run up to him with your keys.
Jeez, Dempsey, I never thought I would see you in here. What are you doing in here?
Same could be said about you. This key doesn't fit. What are you doing, anybody?
I asked you first.
Says the gnome, who is clearly weak and exhausted, and looks like he's been inside that cage for quite some time. He's got the bruises to show for it. Yeah, just in general, he does not look like he's in the best of health. He's got a decent-sized beard going here. Rather exhausted looking. He's wearing just normal clothes. He's got a gold medallion hanging from his neck, just somewhat tucked into his leather vest. He's wearing a tan long sleeve shirt, brown leather vest. He's got a belt with a couple pieces of jewels still remaining inside the belt buckle. He's got a green pair of pants on and a set of brown leather boots.
Stubborn lock here. All these look the same. Gosh, I'll get you out. Hey, Urky, you push, and I'll start twisting these keys in here. Alright, it's not that one. I don't know how to tell you this, Urky, but you're asking why I was here, or why I'm here. Greenest has been attacked.
What?
Yeah. You were right, too. It was the cult. Cult of the dragon. That key's a bum. That one don't work. Alright. A few more to go here. I'll get you out.
When did this happen? How's your family? How is everyone?
Yeah. About my family. You look at Urky with sorrow in your eyes, and he nods along, and he attempts to, give you a pat with one of his hands. Pats your forearm, gives you a look of sorrow as well.
Sorry to hear that. That's terrible. I wish I was there. I don't know what I would have done, but wish I was there.
Yeah. Alright, I think this key's actually gonna do it here. Hey, we did it. You're free.
Ugh. Oh my god, you have no idea. Thank you. Thank you, Dempsey.
Gives you a hug.
Hey, you too here, Dex. Jeez. Big boy.
Yeah, some things haven't changed. Alright, buddy. Well, you're out of here. But yeah, the reason I'm here is, Greenus has been attacked, and as you knew, Nighthill wasn't the most healthy to begin with. He was struck by a poisonous crossbow bolt, and I was sent here to Oakhurst because apparently there's some magical fruit in this area, and they sent me down below here because apparently there's a tree growing down here. It grows these healing fruit, so that's why I'm here. I'm looking for fruit. And this is my friend over there, Meepo. Meepo nods. By any chance, have you seen any missing kids? I'm also looking for some missing, at least Oakhurst is. That's why I'm down here, looking for a magical fruit and a couple of missing human kids, if you happen to know where they are. Maybe they were cellmates with you.
It feels good just to walk around here. Oof.
Yeah, a bit. But more importantly, why are you here, Erky? Thought you hit it big. We had that going away party for you and everything. Thought you were rich.
Yeah. Well, I am rich. Well, I'm supposed to be rich. That's why I'm here, I guess. Like you said, I had that going away party, and I was on my way to claim my uncle's estate. Actually, not far from Oakhurst. That's kind of where I was headed, just a little north. And I was at the kind of tail end of it, and I decided I would save some time and travel at night as well. And at some point I was on this old road and was ambushed by something. I don't remember much, just remember waking up in a cage down here, being yelled at, poked and prodded by those goblins. Been here a while now, at least a month. Which reminds me, I need some food. You have any food? I really need a rest.
That is a good point. Meepo, let's gather our stuff here. Let's head out. Erky, come with us.
Alrighty, I'll follow you guys. Not sure where we are, actually. But it's gonna take me a minute to realize what level we're on here.
Don't you worry about that. Alright, Erky, come on. You gather all your stuff, and you exit the room. You exit the jail cell, and you return to the area where you slayed the goblins. You hurdle the wall, and you return to that room, the pantry room, where you killed the last goblin that was fleeing.
Oh, hey, look. Tons of food in here. Doesn't smell like the best food, but it's food, I guess.
Yeah, something. Meepo, head over there to that side, see if you can lock that door. If not, push some barrels over there. I don't want anyone coming in here. And I'll take this off, see if my keys lock this door over here. Alright. Well, I think this will be as safe as we're gonna get here. And after you catch your bearings here, Erky, we'll escort you out of here. We're gonna get you out of this dungeon here.
Appreciate the offer, guys, but I'm not leaving. I'm hanging out with you guys.
Appreciate that, Erky, but no, we're getting you out of here.
It's sweet, but no, I'm not leaving you. What's that say over there, Meepo? That wine? Yeah, bring that over here. What's this over here? Can of elf pudding? Yeah, no thanks, not having that. But I will have this food, whatever it is. Cornbread? Tastes fine. Whatever this is. That'll do. Bread's bread. Yeah, right there.
After a couple failed attempts, Meepo finds the correct container of wine, and he brings it over to you. And Erky, the three of you enjoy some cornbread, some wine of very low quality, but it does the trick, and some water. And you show off your skills with that pipe of smoke monsters that you looted off one of the goblins or possibly the dwarf earlier in the day. And you all catch up.
Alright, you asked about those kids. The goblins caught 3 of them over a month ago, and they were captives with me, and here for a while now. They said their names were, Telgin, Sharwin, and, Sir Bradford.
That's great news, sir. Were 2 of those humans kids, Erky?
Yeah, yep. All 3 were humans. 2 kids, 1 adult. The goblins kept them here only about a week or so before they removed them. Balak wanted them. He's the guy downstairs. The guy you're looking for, it sounds like. That's about the last I heard of that. But,
I'm glad to hear they're alive. That's huge. Anything you can tell me.
yeah, the goblins seem to be working for Balak, and Balak, from what I've heard, the goblins talk about, there's a Twilight Grove down below, and a wicked old human called Balak. He's a spellcaster, I suspect. Tends an enchanted garden and harvests fruit from something the goblins call the Gothias tree, but they speak of it only in the most terrified of whispers. The enchanted fruit you're looking for, I believe, grows on that Gothias tree.
Oh, really? Why are the goblins afraid of going down there? I feel like they must be pretty bad if they're fairly menacing themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're treated very well by that outcast. But apparently there's other creatures down there. I heard spiders. I'm not sure if that's correct, but it sounds like there's as well as twig blights. I think they're just walking trees. But yeah, that's all I really know.
I appreciate you telling me all that, Erky. It's a lot of help. So you were able to continue your conversation. He answers any questions you have. And let's say that you were able to get your 1 hour short rest. So everybody is back at full health, except for Dempsey. Dempsey didn't have any dice to roll. So Dempsey is where he was prior. He still has the 3 good berries if he decides to use them at some point. And during the meantime, during your rest, you're also able to kind of loot the rest of the goblins and outfit Erky with some gear, some goblin found gear, and whatever the cleric dwarf that died earlier, whatever his gear is. So Erky's within fighting status now. He's got a mace from the dwarf, and he's got armor from the goblins and dwarf. So you'll be just fine. But yeah, you're able to get your rest. Hey Erky, I do have one thing for you. You pull out that little ring that you found presumably off the dwarf, that has the harp engraved inside it with a crest. Yeah, this little ring I found. Well, Meeple found, actually. Can you take a look at that? Let me know. It looks like it's from the Harpers.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Heavy ring. Nice. Yeah, that is from the Harpers for sure. Where'd you find this at?
Yeah, we found it off a dwarf. Well, we think it's off the dwarf. It could have been off one of the goblins. It could have been something old, but I'll do my best to return it to a Harper, I guess, if I get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Is it magical? Do you know? I know you're kind of a scholar, but I'm not sure if you're able to detect anything.
Wouldn't surprise me. I guess you'll have to wear it and find out.
Yeah, thank you. That's really all I have.
Now pass me that tobacco pipe. Smells great.
Alright, your short rest comes to a conclusion. You gather your supplies. Erky is decked out in his gear. Mostly goblin-made gear, goblin-found gear. But it's suitable. It'll fit him, for the most part. You gather your stuff, and you head out the door. However, you're not heading out the door you came in through. You're heading out the other door, the other pantry door. You make your exit, and it opens up into a rather large room. Several torches are crudely mounted along this chamber, filling the air with a haze. A double row of marble columns carved with end-winged dragons runs the length of the hall. As long as the torches burn, the hall is lit, but the haze makes the area lightly obscured. The haze never builds to suffocating levels, thanks to natural ventilation. This reminds you a lot of Eustriel's chamber with all the columns. During your rest, you had conversations of how you're going to go about dealing with Kelcrix. Sounds like you're just going to deal with it head on. Sounds like there is no good way to deal with it. You're feeling a little rejuvenated with your rest and with the recent addition of Urki Timbers. Though you are disappointed more kobolds aren't going to join you in this fight, you almost feel better knowing that you were with Urki, a good friend.
Alrighty. This is it. This is the room.
Meepo points to the door inside this chamber, which is right to your right when you walk out the pantry. Take a few steps to the right, and there is another door, another wooden door.
However, we have to be quiet. A lot of goblins. They live over here. We wake them, we will all die.
Yeah, I remember that, Meepo. Alright, so we're gonna swing this thing open and shut the door behind us?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to do. Let's give it a whirl. Worst case scenario, we just shut the door and we leave.
Yeah, I like that plan. Alright, Meepo. Let's try this door. So all four of you approach the door, and you give it a go. The door unlocks, thanks to the newfound set of keys you have, which I feel like I shouldn't have given those to you. But for now, it makes this easy. But the set of keys gets you in the door. You open the door. Alright, I already made the stealth checks, and you were successful. We got a 16, a 16, a 7, and a 13. So, all four of you make your way inside. What you see, mounted and stuffed animal heads adorn the walls. The mounting job is sloppy, and the assortment of heads include cattle, rats, and other non-particularly impressive specimens. A few grisly trophies share the wall with the animals, including a couple kobold heads. Smashed and broken cabinets and small tables litter the room, mute victims of some sort of rampage. A rusted iron spike stands in the center of the room, trailing a broken chain. Thin patches of frost coat sections of the walls, floor, and debris.
Kelcrix? It's me, Meepo. We're here to free you.
Meepo looks at the group.
I hope this works.
Yeah, me too. Just as you say that, a white dragon head pops up from behind one of the tables at the corner of the room. It snarls, and as soon as its eyes lock on Meepo, it squints. Two of its front claws grip the fallen table, which is now laying on its side, and the claws dig deeply into the wood at the table. Best of luck. Alright, initiatives have been rolled. You are extremely lucky. Kelcrix rolled a natural 1. She's going last. So all four of you get to go, then Kelcrix. Even then, I'm sure someone might die. Alright, let's go. Dexter is first. So, the room is actually kind of difficult to see. There's a heavy fog, and the temperature is noticeably lower than it was in the hallway, and noticeably different from the tiny little pantry you guys were held up in for an hour. So the fog kind of settles to the ground level and slowly steams upward. Dexter the dog, without hesitation, sprints through the room, around the table. He wasn't really quite sure what was behind that table, but once he fully clears the table, he's looking up at a dragon, a wormling. So not incredibly larger than Dexter, but still, he's never seen a dragon before. So he attempts to make a bite. The courageous dog gives it a whirl, and he will miss. Dexter leaps forward, not sure what it is he's attacking. He's never seen a dragon before. And he whiffs. He attempts to bite a wing, but Kelcrix is too nimble. She retracts the wings and continues to claw the table, eyeing Meepo. Dexter will stay where he is at. He's kind of at the side of Calcrix, and the rest of the party cannot see Dexter, for he is behind the table. Dex, yells the ranger. Hang in there. Now it is Meepo's turn. Meepo is littered with scars, though you can't see him as much now that he's wearing his gear, but the kobold inventor, with a long staff, a scorpion tied to the end of it, with string, hissing and clawing and waving the stinger about. Calcrix is the reason Meepo has a job, so it's kind of a odd position to be in, but he will do whatever it takes to bring Calcrix home.
Calcrix? Don't worry.
He sprints forward.
It's me, Meepo.
Calcrix snarls, takes in a deep breath. Her lungs fill with cold fog, and in that moment, Meepo can see what Calcrix is about to do.
Oh no.
Calcrix. So Meepo is going to he's going to use an attack. He's going to attempt to go for the heart. He is going to use his Alchemist Fire, which is a flask of fire. So it's a +4 to hit. Let's see. Let's roll. Terrible luck. A natural 1. Meepo fumbles with his bag, unable to find the correct flask before his time is up. He's frozen in place. Not literally, but he's just shaking in front of Calcrix, and he freezes halfway in the room. That will take us to Dempsey. Dempsey doesn't think twice. He knocks his arrow to his longbow and attempts to make an attack. Mother effer. He rolled a 4 plus a 7, that is an 11. And that will not hit. The fog is dense. Meepo is in the way. Calcrix is breathing in deeply. You still there, Dexter? Slams into the wooden table, which is on its side. Goes right between the claws of this white beast. That is a miss. Dempsey is going to run to the right of the room, as far right to the corner. He's no longer in Meepo's range, no longer in front of Meepo or behind Meepo. And he's in that far right corner. Alright, that takes us to Urky Timber. So the gnome steps forward in the fog. Only the top of his head is really visible.
Alright, guys, hang tight. I'm gonna cast Bless. With this holy water I flick, make it scatter in a sparkling light.
Urky gathers holy water in his palm. With his other hand, he flicks his fingers, which scatter the holy water into sparkling light that drifts against the wind towards those he protects. Blessing settles about the shoulders of Dempsey, Dexter, and Meepo.
There, guys. I hope this helps.
Urky runs to the left. He's now in the left corner, bottom left corner of the room, not far from the door. He's getting as far away as he can from young little Meepo, who's about ready to be destroyed. Alrighty, that brings us to the White Dragon. Brings us to Calcrix. Calcrix looks like he's almost grinning with excitement. Finishes his deep inhale before letting out his dragon breath, which is cold breath. The dragon exhales an icy blast of hail in a 15-foot cone. Looks like only Meepo, luckily, is in that area, so he must make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw, or he's taking some serious damage. Oh man, Meepo is lucky. Meepo succeeds with a natural 15, so I'm gonna have that damage, which is 11. Meepo is just almost 50% snow and ice crystals, as his skin, which is littered with cuts and bruises from his years of trying to tame the young dragon wormling. His skin is just slowly crystallizing. He's still mobile, but if he were to stay dormant for a little longer, he would probably be frozen in place. The life is almost completely sucked out of Meepo. Meepo is very, very critically damaged. Alrighty. Calcrix is going to attempt to back up a little bit so he can let go another blast of cold, which will actually be giving Dexter opportunity of attack. So go ahead, Dex. And that will miss. Once again, Dex attempts to go for the throat of Calcrix, but the beast is too slender and too mobile, too scaly, and too foreign for Dexter to quite get a full grasp of what it is he's attacking. The dragon leaps backwards using its wings and lands into a pile of chairs, and gems and golds come flickering out and scatter across the room, the icy cold room. The temperature in the room dropped once again, noticeably lower after that large blast of cold air, snow and ice. Alrighty, that will take us to Dexter again. It is now his turn after that opportunity. Alright, this time it will succeed. You got a 12 plus 4, 16. That's just enough. He's going to attempt to leap forward, bite at the feet of the dragon. So he succeeds there. 5, so 6. So this time the dragon scales were no match to the large dog's teeth as they crunched down on the paws of the dragon. And there, the two will remain. And that will take us to Meepo. Alright, it's now Meepo's turn. Meepo is now gripping the Alchemist Fire Flask. He is holding on to... Man, I just forgot that we had the +4, the Bless. It wouldn't have mattered though. Still would have missed with that opportunity attack. Or the, +4 roll. He has a 15, I know that will hit. So the kobold throws a flask of Alchemist Fire on the target. It does 1d4 fire damage at the start of each of the target's turns. A creature can end this damage by using its action to extinguish the flames. So let's roll 4. 3, minus 3. Meepo hangs his head and practically drops down to his knees as he throws the Alchemist Fire Flask over the upturned table, and it comes crashing down on Calcrix, igniting the white dragon in the rubble he's next to. And the room all of a sudden gets a little brighter, and a little bit of heat is starting to give off. Even Meepo can feel it now. And that will take us to Dempsey. Dempsey has a good shot on the big old dragon, so he's going to attempt to shoot him with his bow. Dempsey grabs an arrow from his quiver and knocks it in one quick movement. He attempts to shoot Calcrix. I rolled a 9. That's a 2 plus a 7. 9. Even with the +4, if we max out the roll, we would miss. So in one swoop, pulls an arrow out, knocks it, and lets it fly. Quicker than a bird, it goes slamming into the stone wall behind Calcrix. Disappears into the fog.
Dex, get back, bud.
MC ducks and weaves through the fog. Ends up back kind of where he started, but he's doing his best to look for Dexter. Though the fog is starting to dissipate now that the dragon is on fire. So, that'll take us to Mr. Erky.
Meepo, hang in there. Oh, where are you? There you are. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Erky lays his hands on Meepo, who is cold to the touch, and casts Cure Wounds using his second spell slot. He's got one left, and I'll roll a d8 plus the modifier. Nice, that's a 6 plus the 4. That is a 10. So, Meepo is practically full health again.
Alright, come on, gods, one more time. Think of something joyful and wonderful. As I cast Cure Wounds, let your flesh be healed. Self-God, come on. That should do it, Meepo. You're warm to the touch. Keep fighting. I'm getting away from you, though.
And Erky disappears back into the fog. This time he heads over towards Dempsey the ranger. They are now side by side. And that will take us to Calcrix. So Calcrix has to roll a d6. If it lands on a 1 or a 6, then his breath weapon is recharged. Here we go. That's a 4. So he can't do breath weapon, but he will do something else. Let's see. He will use bite. So he's going to leap towards young Meepo and attempt to bite him. However, that's going to give Dexter the dog an opportunity of attack. So, rolled an 11. Let's add a d4, see if it hits, which, the more I think about it, won't do anything. So, misses. The dog jumps out and gets caught up in the table as the dragon leaps over it in one giant swoop with its wings to help guide it. And he's going to bite down at Meepo. Let's make a roll. Alrighty. So I rolled a 3. Plus a 4, 7. That will miss. Okay. Let's see if he had anything else to do. Nope, does not. Alright. The giant white dragon wormling. Not so giant, but giant for a halfling and a gnome and a dog and a kobold. Leaps forward and attempts to bite down on Meepo, who is now warm and much more lively. Meepo is able to scurry out and kind of barrel roll out of the way. This isn't the first time Meepo has been attacked, and he has the scars to prove it. Somehow, he avoids the clutches of the giant dragon jaws. And that will take us back to the old top of the round. Maybe Dexter. Dexter's going to weave his way through the fog, which is now pretty much all but gone. And he's going to attempt to bite at the tail of the wormling. That will hit. He rolled a 19. I would add the plus 4, but or the do the extra roll for bless, but not needed. Let's see. D6 plus 1. It's 2. It's 3. So crunch. Dex gets a piece of the tail and actually removes some of the scales and a bit of the flesh. So the dragon wormling is pretty much unfazed. Barely did much to it. He's still focused on Meepo, his former caretaker. Alright. Meepo will attempt to swing forward with his scorpion on a stick. Actually, he can't use that since he's already used his alchemist fire. Which, I forgot, Calcrix is on fire. So let's roll a 1d4. It's 3. That's minus 3. Starting to feel it now. Now Calcrix is starting to realize that the fire is not going anywhere. And it's starting to burn. And that might be his next focus, if he wasn't so enraged with Meepo's existence. But that takes us to Meepo's turn, and he's going to swing forward with his dagger. 13 plus a 4, which will hit. Even though I have to add bless. That will hit. So it's a 1d4 plus 2. Let's go. So 1, 3. So 3 points of damage. Meepo, who was lost by Calcrix in the scuffle, slides his rusty dagger into the side of the white dragon wormling.
Calcrick, it's me. Stay down. I'm trying to help. We'll get you out of this room.
That'll take up his turn. He stays where he's at. And Dempsey will fire another arrow from his safety. That's a natural 1, which will whiff. It will go into the dragon, ricochet off one of the scales, which is smoldering. Some of the scales are burning. Some of them are smoking. And it'll just clank off the scales and bounce around the ground. And that'll bring us over to Erky.
Oh my, come on, Dempsey. Normally you're a sure shot. Sacred flames. Come on.
Erky casts Sacred Flames. So Calcrix will have to make a dex save. And that will succeed. Radiant heat swells up around the dragon, but he just resists and swings his wings and flails his tail. And before anything can even begin, concentration is lost, and the gnome is unable to succeed.
I think we should think about running away.
The gnome backpedals and tries to disappear behind some of the rubble, fallen chairs, and broken animal mounts. But he's still very visible. Next to Dempsey, but still visible. Doesn't move far, maybe 5 feet. That will take us to Calcrix. So we are going to attempt to roll a d6 here and see if we get a 5 or 6 so we can use breath if we want. Dragon breath. Ooh, that's a 3. So, the dragon is going to use his action to put out the flame. Well, yeah, the flames are starting to grow and he's starting to get angry. He's now starting to notice them. They're starting to bother him. However, his rage and his hatred towards Meepo has overtaken the young wormling, and he attempts to bite down at Meepo. So I'll roll a 20 here. That's an 8 plus a 4, it's a 12. Let's see what. Alright, so that will hit. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually quite a big hit. So it's a 1d10 plus a 2, and then a piercing damage of 1d4. So that'll be a total of 7 damage. So crunch. Leaps down, pounces on top of Meepo, and wraps its serpentine fangs around the neck of the struggling kobold. Crunches down and spits it out. And to its surprise, his prey, or her prey, is still alive. Meepo is barely hanging on, but he is alive. And we'll roll that d4 for the fire damage because it's still going. So 3. Alrighty. So the white dragon wormling is still alive, though it is starting to tire and starting to feel the pain. Everything's slowly enclosing around it. It's on fire. It's being ganged up on, and it's considering fleeing. So it makes its way towards the door. It doesn't leave the 5-foot radius, though. It just kind of pivots. It's got its back to the door now, and the rest of the party is in front of him. And that will take us to Dexter. Dexter will attempt to bite down. Alright, that's a 14 plus a 4. Alright, that will work. Or plus a 3, 17. Alright, so 1d6 plus 1. So, you rolled a nice 6. That's a 7. That's the max damage. Alright, yeah. Calcrix is hanging on by a thread. And that will take us to Meepo. Meepo will attempt to put out the flame on Calcrix, even though he's badly beat up. Once again, he's full of scars. He's now bleeding on the floor practically. He's got the puncture wounds that have went through his armor. Here. He gets up on his... He wasn't really on the ground, but he gets up from the lowered position, kind of hunched over, and begins to pat at the flames which are on his side, on the dragon's side, and then smolders and wipes him clean.
There, everyone, stop. She's done. Calcrix, lay down. It's help. It's me, Meepo. We're here to save you, please. No more attacking.
Roll a persuasion. I'm gonna say with advantage, and then I could say it could be with disadvantage as well. So just roll straight up persuasion. You're not sure if it works. That will take us to Dempsey. Just say the word, Meepo. I will let this arrow fly.
Yeah, you haven't hit anything though, so...
Come on, behave. Alright, I'm not gonna attack. That'll take us to Urki.
Well, I'm not gonna cure your wounds, Meepo, unless you move back to me. I'm staying back.
And that will take us to Mr. Calcrix, or Mrs. Calcrix, the white dragon wormling. And that is a 5. So, dragon breath is fully recharged. Calcrix smiles, inhales. Its mouth fills up with bright blue glow. Icy crystals form around its mouth. and it exhales. So everyone roll for a dexterity saving throw. And I already did that off screen. And Dempsey was the only one that failed. So Dempsey's going to take the full blast. Everyone else is going to take half damage. So 5d8. That's insane. Alright, let's roll it here. That is 17 points of damage. So even when you half it, there's a couple people going down. Giant white dragon wormling with a grin exhales, and it just covers Meepo in icy frost as it just completely engulfs the kobold. And next to that is Dempsey. If Dempsey was full health, he would have survived this one, but he too is victim of this icy blast. So Meepo is frozen solid where he is. Dempsey is knocked on his back, unconscious, covered in ice crystals. Everyone else is hanging on by a thread because they take 8 points of damage. And that will take us up to the top of the round here with Dexter. So Dexter is going to attempt to shake off the snow and the ice, and he realizes his friend Dempsey is critically injured and unconscious. He's never seen him this way before. Gives him a quick little nudge with his nose and realizes that things are not well. So Dexter, the fur on his coat raises, his tail rises, and he sprints towards the dragon, growling, and attempts to make a bite attack. But he is unsuccessful. He leaps towards the dragon, tackles him, but no damage is done. And that takes us to Meepo. But Meepo is frozen. So Meepo needs to make a death saving throw. So if he gets a 10, that'll be a success. So plus he has the bless. So let's see. Oh god, it's a natural 1. So 1 fail for Meepo. Not good. That takes us to Dempsey. He must make a death saving throw. And that is a natural 16. So that is one success. Now that brings us to Urki. Oh. So Urki has a decision to make. Should he heal someone using his last little ditch effort, attempt to heal a party member? Or should he try to attack the dragon? That's a big decision. The sure thing is if you revive a party member like Dempsey, you got 2 of you guys alive. And maybe Urki can, run to one corner of the room, and that leaves, 3 people for Calcrix to use his attack on. And he can't get them all at once. But Calcrix will get to go before Dempsey. But if he attacks and he misses, now he may have doomed the party. So what is Urki? We know Urki is an acolyte. He is a believer. He's a worshiper. He's from Greenest, or at least he lived in Greenest. And he's friends with Dempsey. And he's very relieved to find Dempsey in this sunken citadel. With that being said, I think...
Meepo, you've doomed us. Dempsey, it's now your time. Here, cure wounds.
The gnome places both hands on the chest of the fallen halfling, chants his prayer, incites his prayer, and heat and light melt away the frozen ice. Dempsey is no longer cold to the touch. Life is restored. The ranger now has 7 points of health, and Urki is out of spell slots. Urki is going to use the rest of his movement to run out of sight, out of the line of possible breath attack. So he's heading left. So now that will end Mr. Urki's turn. That takes us to Calcrix, who is in the middle of fighting the dog. I'm going to roll a d6 to see if his breath weapon comes back. That is a 2, so it does not come back. Calcrix is going to attempt to bite down on Dexter the dog. And that is a 9. So that is a 13 with the +4. That is enough. Alright, looks like it's 7 points of damage. So that is enough to knock Dexter on the ground. Dexter is now the recipient of a big bite right above the spine. The dragon bites down on the neck of Dexter the dog. His massive fangs sink in and past the harness and through the thick hide. The dog is unconscious as it falls to the ground. Calcrix moves in range and makes his way towards Dempsey. So he is now walking at Dempsey, and he turns to the left and heads towards the gnome, attempting to walk over all the fallen rubble, broken chairs, as he makes his way towards Erky Timbers. And that will invoke an opportunity of attack for Dempsey. So Dempsey has to make an attack with a melee weapon, which is a hand axe. And it's going to be a non-lethal, if he can. So he pulls out his hand axe, and with the back of the axe, takes a crack at the skull. So he rolled a 10, plus a 4, that's a 14. What does the white dragon have? The dragon has an armor class of 16. So, we're going to roll Bless. Here we go. He needs at least a 2. Oh, thank God. 2. 16 is exactly what he needed. Bless, as the one time Bless has come in handy this entire encounter. And it could not have come at a better time. Right on top of the head, the dragon receives a blow from the back of a hatchet. He did not see that coming. He was far too arrogant to think that he would be bested by a group of little creatures. A ton of dead weight just flops to the ground, just crashes and smashes through all the debris as gold and silver pieces, jewels come scattering about. The dragon has been defeated. However, we still have to continue the normal round because we have 2 people that are still unconscious. So that takes us to Dexter. Make his first saving throw. 12. You have 1 success. 2 more to go. Meepo already has 1 failure. 2 more and he's dead. 11. Success. And that brings us to Dempsey. Oh my God. Thank you there. As he looks towards Erky. Dexter. No, Dexter. Dempsey isn't thinking straight. He attempts to heal Dexter, to stabilize Dexter first. He doesn't have a medicine kit or a healing kit, so you'll have to roll a d20. If he gets a 10, it will count as a successful saving throw for Dexter. If he fails, it doesn't count as anything. It would be probably the most advantageous for him to help Meepo, because Meepo already has 1 failure. Hanging in there. A natural 17. Well, I mean 17. You don't really have anything. You could add Bless, but regardless. Dexter has 2 successful saving throws. 1 more and Dexter's alive. That will bring us to Erky.
Well done, Dempsey. Oh my God. Hang in there, Dexter. Need help here, Dempsey? There you go. I'm spent. I can't call upon the gods anymore, but I can help you bandage. It's okay, Dexter.
Goes to show you where the loyalty is in this group. Erky was a little bitter that Meepo didn't slay the dragon when he had the opportunity. He attempts to heal Dexter, and he's successful. That's a 13. Didn't even have to add Bless. So, that is enough. This is the last round we can really use Bless too. This is the 5th round. I mean, you do it 10 times. You get 6. You get 1 minute. So, anyway.
Oh, Dexter, he's awake. Dexter. Oh, he's awake, but he's very exhausted. He's gonna live, Dempsey. We did it. He's gonna live.
Thank you, Erky. I'm sure glad you came with us. What about Meepo?
So that takes us to Dexter. He does nothing. He is stable, but he's at 0, so he's unconscious. It's going to take 1 to 4 hours until he has the opportunity to get back on his feet. Dexter no longer needs to make saving throws, but he's good. Meepo. Well, actually, yeah, Meepo's turn now. Meepo needs to make a saving throw. That's a natural 16. So Meepo has 2 successful throws. To take us to Erky, and Erky succeeds.
Hang in there. Strong. Foolish, but you're strong.
How's he looking, Erky?
You live. He will live. But we need to get out of here. If those goblins come back, we are no match.
Very well. What's our next move? And with that, I think it's a good time to end it. We successfully defeated Calcrix, the white dragon wormling. We got very lucky in the beginning that the initiative order was very generous, that Calcrix rolled a natural 1, so he was very last. Without that, it would have been pretty bad. And then those 5s and 6s just never showed up. It could have been very bad. Because, if Calcrix went first, he would have been able to blast everyone with that AoE attack, and that would have changed everything. So the fact that everyone was able to disperse really helped. And that's where it kind of annoying. Being the dungeon master and the player, you kind of have an unfair advantage as a player. I knew that there was an AoE attack, so I made everyone kind of get out of the way. So only Meepo was the recipient of the first one. But the second one, Dempsey hadn't taken any damage that entire encounter, and then just took 1 full blast from Calcrix, which is enough to knock him out. And then we rolled pretty bad, I would say, in the beginning, and then kind of towards the end of things. Didn't roll all that well. But, for pretty much a straight up encounter with the white dragon, we were successful. So, can't complain there. That's a deadly encounter. Not easy. We treated Meepo as though he was a player, and we treated Dexter as though he was a player. I figure that's the most safe way and the most fair way. If we just straight up killed Meepo and straight up killed the dog, I think that would be unfair. If they failed all the saving throws, then yeah, they would be dead. But when there's only one player, you have to make adjustments. And I think we were fair. It was still a difficult encounter. I'm hanging on by a thread here. But the fun part has yet to come. We still have to figure out how we're bringing this dragon back. Because this dragon's not dead. Not yet. So we'll see how things go next session. Alrighty, take care.